Hi, pastors and small churches. My name is Mike Berrien. I own a small company in, where are we? In Orange County, California. This message is for pastors, faith-based leaders. Our ministry, Free Chapel and Jensen Franklin, has a heart for the small churches that may not have the revenue stream of some of the mega churches or some of the reserves. So right now, the federal government, it's March 31st, has the EIDL program. There's both that program and the PPP program, which is going to be coming out with $350 billion over the next coming weeks. This program is very simple. It's a 4-page application. No tax returns are required. It's super simple. You're going to be putting in some basic church information, some basic employee information, some basic personal information, your business checking account or your church's checking account information, and they should be sending us 10,000 as small business owners within the next 3 to 7 days. We're not exactly sure. So as part of the body of Christ, we wanted to give you whatever resources and tools that we could in order to try to help. So Amanda's going to go over that application, quick, short, and then just stay tuned. Hopefully we have some better information about the Paycheck Protection Program, where we're going to get some real relief as the body of Christ and churches, and we'll go from there. So hopefully we can help. And
God bless.
God bless.
Okay, guys. So the application. First off, you're going to want to go to the URL covid19relief.sba.gov, and when you get there, you're going to want to go ahead and check out, just read all of the information, and more than likely as a church organization, you are going to be under the nonprofit down here at the bottom. And so you're just going to want to go ahead and check mark whichever one of these options applies to your organization. Like I said, it's more than likely going to be this nonprofit. And then the next box is to review and check all of the following. So all of these options need to apply to your organization, or you will not qualify for the loan or the grant. So we're going to go ahead and check these. If you're a church organization, you more than likely will. It's all about gambling and illicit kind of activities, more or less. So I don't think that's going to be a problem. Okay, so go ahead and continue. And so on the next page, we've got the business information. You're going to start out with the legal name of your entity, and that's going to be what you have on your formation documents. And then if you have a trade name that differs from that, you're going to go ahead and fill out the trade name. So we're going to go ahead and just put something fictitious in here. And then you're going to want to put your EIN number and your organization type. So you may be an LLC, a C Corp, S Corp, sole proprietorship, whatever it is. Go ahead and choose that one. And then if you are the nonprofit organization, go ahead and check that one. And if you're a franchise, most likely no. And then you're going to want to put your gross annual revenues for the year of 2019. The option does say through January 31st, 2020. That's just when they're cutting off when the disaster began. But you can go ahead and put in the estimate for the year 2019 if you've already got your tax returns done for 2019. So we'll just go ahead and put in a fictitious figure here. And then cost of goods sold, probably, not going to be much of anything. As a church, you typically don't sell goods, unless maybe you have some books or something like that, or you have a cafe. But we'll just go ahead and put in a very small amount of that revenue. And then the next question is rental properties. And that's just if you lost rent due to the disaster, if the church owns a rental property and somebody couldn't pay the rent on it. Typically, I would say for a church organization, that's going to be 0. And then the next question is nonprofit cost of operation for the 12 months prior to the date of the disaster. So all of this information is going to come off of your profit and loss statements and your financials for the year of 2019. So you'll just go ahead and put in whatever figure that is. And then combined annual operating expenses for 12 months prior to the date of the disaster for all secular social services provided by the faith-based entity. And again, you'll know what that figure is based off of your financials, and then you're just going to want to list those out, whatever those may be, in the next box. The next question is compensation from other sources of received as a result of the disaster. Now that's if you got some other kind of help, likely not, since this is just the beginning of any programs being released. If there is a figure to put in there, go ahead and put it in, and then you'll have to provide a description of what that is. But for now, we'll just put 0. The next box is the primary business address, and it cannot be a P.O. box. So that likely is going to be whatever address that you have as the physical location for the parent company of the church, likely your church address. Just whatever's on the formation documents is what you'll want to put in there. So we'll go ahead and put in an address so that we can continue through the application process. And then you'll put in your county. It's not a required field, but the more information, the better. And the main business phone number. And then if you have an alternative business phone number, go ahead and add that along with the fax number. And then the main email for the organization. And then the date that the organization was established, so whatever your formation date was on your LLC or corporation or sole proprietor documents. And then current ownership since. Now this is going to be the same date as on your organization documents, unless you purchase your organization from another person. So just go ahead and put that in there. And then under business activity, we're going to go ahead and find faith-based organization. And then we want to do none of the below church or funeral homes. We'll go ahead and choose church, but if you're a different kind of a faith-based organization other than a church, you can put none of the below. And then the next question is the number of employees. So that would be however many people that you have on staff there at the church. You're going to want to put in that number. We'll just go ahead and say 5 for the application. And we'll hit next. Now, business owner's information. And the first question up here at the top is your business owned by a business entity? So sometimes LLCs own other LLCs. There's holding companies, parent companies, things of that nature. But typically if you're a smaller organization, which is who we're speaking to today, you're going to click no on that. And then we're just going to go ahead, you as the principal, the owner of the church organization, you're going to put your information in. Whoops. And your cell phone number and your title under the organization, whether that be manager, CEO, whatever that is, and your percentage of ownership. Now, if you do not own the organization 100%, you can, you'll have the option down at the bottom of this page to add another principal, and you can go ahead and put in their information. And then your email and your social, your date of birth, and then your place of birth, so whatever state you were born in. And then, are you a U.S. citizen? And then your residential address. Now for this, we don't know the SBA, what kind of verifications they're going to be doing, if they're pulling personal credit. So whatever information you put in there, it's a good idea to put the information that matches whatever you have on your driver's license or on your personal credit reports. That way, when they do run any kind of verification, it might just be identity verification, but a lot of times they use the header information off of your personal credit reports. So good idea to put whatever in there is going to match up with those items. Okay, and your city and your state. And your zip code. And then this is the box where you can check an additional owner if that fits your situation. Then we're just going to go ahead and click next. Now on this next screen under additional information, this has a lot to do with the background of the ownership. So basically they're asking questions about, if there's any criminal activity in your background. I would say most of the time all of these questions are going to be no. Our experience with SBA loans in the past is that they, in order to approve a loan, they want no's on all of these questions. So you can read through them and just answer them as honestly as you can, and hopefully those are all no's for you. And then in the next blue box, this is about if anyone has assisted you in completing the application, or if you paid for somebody to help you get this loan. And typically, if you're watching this video, you're probably going to do it yourself. So you don't necessarily need to worry about this, but if you have a CPA or an accountant or a lawyer helping you, you're going to want to put their information in there and check mark that the SBA has your permission to discuss your application with that person. The next box is very important. This is the box that you're going to check to get the $10,000 advance. And so go ahead and click that. And then you're going to go ahead and put down your bank name, your account number, and your routing number. And this is going to be obviously the church's bank. And then in these paragraphs after, you're just giving the SBA the permission to check the church's credit, your personal credit, all of that. And then down here, you're certifying that all of the information is true and correct to the best of your knowledge. So you're going to want to click that and then click next. Now, this final page is just a summary of all the information you entered. If you review all of that and find anything that is not correct, there is this little edit button up here. You can click that and we'll take you back to that page so that you can correct any information that you need to. And so once you've verified that everything is correct, you're going to go down here and click that you're not a robot. Hopefully you're not. And they're going to ask you, sometimes a CAPTCHA will come up, and so we're just going to go ahead and answer that and verify, and we're good. And then you're just going to go ahead and click submit down here. And I'm not going to do that because I don't want to put in a false application, but we're going to go ahead and bring up for you a confirmation page so that you can see your application ID number, and that's how you are going to track the status of that application. All right, so thank you so much for watching, and we wish you all the best, and God bless.